The story of reincarnation is evidenced all around us. The physical earth realm, where our physical bodies live, is a proving ground that gives us an opportunity to see life as being eternal once we're ready to see it as such. Many objects, imagery, and creatures we cross paths with tell us a story that life begins and ends. The story revolves around a cycle where one is born into this realm, they live a finite life, and experience biological death. The body returns to Earth in its physical form, and the soul returns to Earth in a new body. So goes the story of life cycles. A story is not real unless it is supported by imagery and symbolism. A story has no influence over its intended recipient unless it is embedded into their reality. But more importantly, the story needs to be embraced by the recipient in order for it to become real. The Salton Sea, located in Southern California, has been a powerful force in telling of that story. Like the moon, the Salton Sea is a false light. The body of water formed in the early 1900s due to a failure in attempts to divert water from the nearby Colorado River for agricultural use. This was an initial display of what happens when human ingenuity falls astray and becomes disconnected from Earth. The water from the Colorado River filled the shallow basin and created an artificial body of water. When the body of water was created, it began as a freshwater lake. And as the water evaporated, as nearby agricultural operations discharged their runoff into it, the salinity steadily increased. At one point, the salinity levels of the Salton Sea became habitable to ocean-dwelling fish. Human ingenuity built upon its past failure and showed a disconnectedness from Earth once more by planting ocean-dwelling fish in this artificially formed body of water and turning it into a fishing destination in the middle of the desert. From the mid-1940s to the mid-1970s, the Salton Sea attracted droves of people so they could experience the ocean that wasn't. As salinity levels increased well above the levels that are found in the ocean, the water slowly became inhospitable to ocean-dwelling fish. Massive fish die-offs plagued the shores. Algae began to grow in abundance and consume the oxygen in the water, not only exacerbating the rate of fish die-offs, but leaving a sulfuric stench that made it inhospitable for tourism. Many of the beaches no longer contain sand. When you walk on those beaches, your feet are buried in decomposing marine life. Every decomposition cycle completed replenishes this layer to remind us this is the new norm for the beach. As tourism came to a screeching halt, so did investment. Beachfront communities that were planned to be built into stomping grounds for the financially endowed never fulfilled such a destiny. This is what currently remains of the Salton Sea. The Salton Sea stood out as a false light. It attracted millions of people toward a sea that was never meant to exist as a sea. What began as a feeble attempt to divert water from the Colorado River for financial gain transformed into an experiment in tourism, and again for financial gain. Let's see the Salton Sea as a very important storyteller. Its creation and existence evidences our impassioned vulnerability to false light. Financial imperatives triggered the creation of the Salton Sea. Financial imperatives triggered the failed experiment in tourism. In order for this false light to embed itself into the realities of those who embody the story, The story needs supporting false light narratives. The narrative that perhaps stands out most prominently is money. If the story of money did not exist, the creation of the Salton Sea would have never been triggered, and failed tourism experiment that followed would have never occurred. This is what happens when one embraces a false light. Their journey takes them into a state of decay. The decay we are seeing here is a stark reminder that falling astray from one's connectedness with Earth will not lead to balance, harmony, or inner beauty. Think of what heaven on earth means to you. There are no false lights in heaven. When one experiences the consciousness of heaven, when one experiences a true form of balance, harmony, and inner beauty, they do so because of a symbiosis with Earth, not in spite of it. When this symbiosis is broken, decay and eventual death will pave the path. This is not a hypothesis, nor is it a belief. It is observable and evidenced here and throughout the physical Earth realm. Learn from Earth. She is trying to teach us a very important lesson and impart wisdom that will bring us one step closer in our spirit life journey toward realizing that life is eternal and that death and decay are outcomes of breaking our symbiosis with Earth. When people make conscious choices to receive personal gain at the expense of maintaining a symbiosis with Earth, they will enjoy the fate of the Salton Sea and countless examples that stand before us. The karmic cycle is there to give people who are unable to glean from this wisdom more chances to learn. There are many opportunities on the physical Earth realm to cross paths with symbolism and imagery and learn from it. There are many opportunities to change our ways and move closer to realizing balance, harmony, and inner beauty materialize within you as you sanctify your symbiosis with Earth. There are many opportunities to realize heaven is not a place you go to after experiencing biological death. Heaven is on Earth, and we have to build it. The Salton Sea represents the antithesis of heaven. It tells us in the loudest and clearest terms imaginable that this is what happens when we carry ourselves out in a manner that disconnects us from Earth. I'm not here to stop you from following false lights. It is not my duty to guide your spirit life journey. Take the path that best suits you, but doing so with a willingness to learn will open your eyes so you can see beyond what lurks on the surface. That's all for now. Be well, sun gaze, and thrive selflessly.